else that produces sin except the lack of faith. Even if we go back to the garden where sin originated, it was a lack of faith in God that allowed Eve to be deceived by the serpent, because she had more faith in the illusionary faith, okay, the false image that he presented to her of what God was trying to keep from her. No, you shall not surely die. You'll be like God. He created an image for her, and it made her fear. She was afraid that she was missing out on something, afraid that God was tricking her, afraid that he was withholding something from her. So it was her lack of faith that caused her to reach out and take that forbidden fruit. And I mean, I am thoroughly convinced that sin will be eradicated by faith.
I totally agree, 100%. And talking about, the garden is so profound to me, because just a few hours ago I was speaking to my good friend, Sister Reverend Melanie Hart, who is listening. Give you a shout out all the way down in Cathedral City, California. And she sent me this sermon of this gentleman who, I'm drawing a blank on, but very, very well-renowned preacher, man of God. And he was talking about getting back to the garden. And there was a song in the 1960s that the hippies used to sing, "Let's get back to the garden," And then he was taking that concept and basically, let's get back to the garden previously to before Adam and Eve took the fall. Because back in the day they were perfect. They were flawless. There was no shame in nakedness. There was no fear. There was no worry. There was no condemnation. There was no guilt. All of that was a byproduct of the sin and, like what you were saying, the lack of faith.